How you doing, YouTubers? This is Galen. I'm making this video out of my office here in El Paso. I took a break from doing my books to make a video. I know my last video about my dump truck, I had told people that I was a broker. I just wanted to, put a little bit more emphasis on that. And then my next video that I'm going to make, I want to talk a little bit more about my dump truck and the problems that I've been having with it. But I started my brokerage last year. I became active. My MC became active um, July 25th. No, sorry, July 23rd of 2021. My MC became active. I moved my first load about 3 days later. When you fill out your MC, this is for people that possibly are thinking about becoming a freight broker or something. When you fill out your form for your MC number. You get a DOT number, but you really don't use it. Us freight brokers, we don't use the DOT number. They give you one, but you don't never use it. And it's free. All right. So once you pay the $300 for your MC number, you'll have to wait 21 to 25 days for them to actually activate it. Once you have everything on file, meaning you got your BOC, what is it? Your BOC 13, I believe it is. Processing agent. That's basically what it is. Your processing agent and your bond. Once you have those two on file, 21 to 25 days from when you pay your $300, you'll become active. So within those, once I filled out my bond and I called the FMCSA, and they will give you a date. They said, hey, you will be active between July 21st, July 23rd. And from that moment, this was like July, in the middle of July, like the first week or so. Um, I think it was actually the first or something like that, first or second. I started making phone calls right then and there. I was calling people saying, "Hey, um, I'll be active in 2 weeks." Depending on how far I was, I was saying 1 week, 2 weeks, or whatever. I was making phone calls and got some customers and stuff. Many videos of YouTube and podcasts will talk to you about the sales calls, the pitches, and what to say to customers and the questions to ask and stuff like that. I'll make another video on that because I have my own opinion about that. But I'm just talking about what I've experienced. What am I going on? 7 months? Yeah, 9 months. Sorry, 9 months. I had to do the math. I started in July, so yeah, I've been doing this for about 9 months. Um, and I just felt like this was more than enough. I moved over 300 loads. I'm actually on load 300 and I think 340, no, 358. I'm actually on load 358. Actually, no, 361. Sorry. I thought it was 358, but I forgot. I just moved three today. So yeah, I'm actually on load 361. I moved 361 loads from July 25th to today, which is March 15, 2022. So I'm 9 months in, and I just wanted to give some input on what, as a new broker, what I've done. I thought about doing a video 30 days out, 60 days, but I felt like I'm still like really new. I don't know if I'm gonna be, but now I'm in a position where I'm like, okay, I know I'm gonna be here past a year, and so I started my freight broker in July. I will tell you as a new freight broker, while you're waiting for those 20 days, call customers. Don't wait till they activate you to call. Now you'll have some customers that want to immediately want to start working with you, and you have to tell them like, I can't do it. I'm not active yet. I'm just trying to get information. So once I become active, I can give you a call. Um, so I had those, and then I did have a customer that sent me a load list, and I was really grateful. And I told him, and he understood, and he said, "Hey, I'm willing to work with new brokers because some of the brokers I've been dealing with haven't been, doing their job. They'll say they have a truck and the truck never come and stuff like that. And it was produce. What I will tell you as a new freight broker, that the podcast and the YouTubers, that have hundreds of thousands of viewers and subscribers and stuff, what they don't tell you is your MC number, how that can delay you moving freight and making money. Now you may be wondering, why does my MC number affect that? Well, what happened is when you first, all right, When I first got the list and I became active, my very first day, I came in my office, I sat down at my desk, and I got to work. I started making phone calls and so on and so on. And I remember this phone call like I just made it yesterday. Um, it was a produce load, good rate. My customer gave it directly only to me to see, if I can move it. It was like more of a trial thing, no other broker had it. He didn't share it. He only gave it to me. So I felt like I'm gonna move this load. The rate was good. He told me I had some room to increase if I need to, so on and so on. So I remember I called this carrier. I went on the DAP board because that's the load board I use is DAP, and I remember calling and talked to the dispatcher. Truck was available. Truck was getting empty. Like while I was on the phone, full conversation. My heart rate is increasing because I'm like, I'm about to move my first load. About to move my first load, and we were talking, laughing, oh man, it's a good load. Driver said he'll take it. Boom, boom, boom. Sent my packet, everything. When I sent my packet to the carrier, at that moment, I was like, first load move. Can't nobody stop me now. And then he called me back and said, hey, I'm sorry, man. We just ran your MC number. My factoring company won't be able to factor this load. Take us off the load. At that moment right there, my day was ruined. Because I was like, wait, hold on, what? And he was like, yeah, man, your MC is too brand new, man. I think you're like a week in or something like that. I was like, yeah, I just started, but. And I mean, I was like, look, man, I factor. I got quick pay. I can do this. I can pay you. Boom. And he was like, yeah, unfortunately, company policy is you have to be able to go through our factoring company. I've learned my first 3 months how difficult it was to move a load. You can have, and they'll tell you, oh, sales, sales, sales. But let me tell you something. You get a customer, as a new freight broker, you get a customer in California, these produces up and down the West Coast, and they go to the East Coast for $10,000, it's going to be very difficult to move those freight. Now, I'm not saying it's not doable. I've done it. But it's going to be very difficult because it's so much money, and carriers go through a factoring company, and someone half up front, and you're a new starting freight broker, you don't want to put $5,000 right up front. I mean, even though you get your money in 30 days, you still have to wait, to get your money. You don't want to just come out of pocket $5,000. But then some want it up front. So if you got the capital, this ain't you can do it. But if not, even if I had some where I was like, even when I was like 30 days in and I had money, some people didn't even want to take payment up front. It was their company policy. Listen, if you can't get approved through our factoring company, you can't do business with us. And that's what sucked. So I called carriers and I moved loads here with smaller carriers. I had, smaller lanes where it was like $1,300, $2,000, where some carriers were like, hey, I give you your opportunity. Okay, hey, I'm calling you. I want quick pay. Or hey, my factoring company is on it. And you have to sell yourself not only to your customers, because like I said, that's what YouTube and these podcasters tell you. Oh, you got to sell your company to your customers. No, you got to sell your company to carriers also. You got to figure out, hey, this isn't the reason why I'm not going to stand you up. This is the reason why I'm going to pay you. And some will give you an opportunity, some won't. So I'm just telling you, you can get 10 customers, your first week, but be prepared for carriers to be like, hey, I can't do business with you. I'm gonna tell you one factoring company I still can't use till today, 9 months later, is Triumph. Triumph, in order to now I've processed some because some carriers they don't run my MC through through the database, through their system. They just take the load and then shoot them an invoice, and then Triumph was like, oh well, we paid them, let's go ahead and send the invoice. I've had about 3-4 Triumph invoices that I've processed. But if a carrier runs my MC through the Triumph system, Triumph will kick it back and say, hey, we can't do business with them, unfortunately, because they're still within a year. So with Triumph, you have to be over a year, all right? Um, to get around that as a new freight broker, I'm going to tell you something. Like I said, once again, YouTuber and podcasts have not said, call factoring companies, all right? Call these factoring companies. When you call a carrier, you try and move a load and they say, hey, unfortunately, my factoring company said no. Call them and say, hey, I want to get one load with you. I have a carrier that we agree on the load, but they said you said no. Can I get one load to prove that I can pay within X amount of days, 30 days or less? Some will say no. Some will say yes. Some will send you an application. Some will give you a $2,000 limit. Some will give you a $3,000 limit. Some will give you a $1,500 limit. Call these factoring companies. That's a way around it. Because I had to actually email my factoring company and say, hey, is there some way I can do this? And they shot me an email and said, yes, Galen, call these factoring companies and ask them for a one load, credit. So that's what you can do. Every time I get denied, like I said, I rarely get denied now because I have a credit score now. But when you first start off and you talk to a carrier and they say, oh, unfortunately my factoring company says no. First question you ask them, hey, before you hang up, can I get your factoring number or your factoring company name? Oh, I go through, this company and Blue Capital and Atlas and Riviera and all these other places and stuff. Um, and then call those guys. Hey, don't ask for a number. Just say, hey, thank you. Go on Google, look for their name, call them, talk to the credit department. Hey, my name is such and such from ABC Logistics. Can I just started. Can I get a one credit? I factor. And once again, you have to sell yourself. So now, not only do you have to sell your company to your customers, you got to sell yourself to carriers and to factoring companies. So just to think that that's all I got to do as a freight broker, if you're going to start your own, that I just got to call customers and that's going to be just like that. No, it doesn't work like that. When you first start, you're going to have some pushback, some resistance from carriers. Thank God I was a carrier myself, so I was able to work with some people here in El Paso. They were like, hey, we'll give you one. I had one carrier that, the owner was on me as soon as he delivered. He delivered at 6 o'clock. His truck was empty at 6:15. He sent me the invoice at 6:16, and he called me at 6:30. He called me 12 hours later, and then because he went, I had quick pay, and he made sure I paid him one time, and from now on, he sent me. He'll do like 8 loads a week or 7 loads a week, and he'll shoot me all the invoices on Friday. But you have to build that relationship. People are going to be paranoid because it's money. You're dealing with thousands of dollars, and they all will give you, a story of, oh, well, this freight broker didn't pay me. This freight broker didn't pay me. We got stood up over $8,000, and it sucks that freight brokers do that, because it messes it up for the future generation of freight brokers that we have to deal with this our first year to prove people wrong. And after a while, you'll have a name, and you'll have you go on the DAT, they'll run your credit, and you'll have a score. Like right now, my score is like a 95. It always ranges from 100 to 95, 100 to a 95. So people just look on the dashboard, see a 95, see 17 days, less than 30 days, they'll do business. But until then, you're going to have a slash and a slash. A Sonia is to credit people for that. What happens is, I think it has to be 4 months. You have to have 4 months and 3 reportings to get a credit score. Now, what I mean by that is you need to go 4 months, of course, and basically 3 carriers that you deal with, preferably factoring companies, will report how long it took you to pay that invoice to Asonia. And Asonia has a database where they just jot all that in, and they put it out, and it pops out. Like I said, I had 100. One day I had 1 month, I had like a 65. I was like, what happened? I paid it the same way. Then the next month it was 100, and then it's 100, 95, 100. It's just reporting. All right. But that's just something I wanted to tell people about as far as what I dealt with starting off. Like I said, I'm 9 months in. I'm doing pretty good. I have approximately about 7 customers I have one that keeps me year round. I have three that are kind of seasonal, and then I have about two or three that kind of, they'll give me 2, 3, 6 loads a month maybe. But I have one that is like really good. You know, there's here's 20 loads for the month. Here's 25 loads for the month. But then I got another customer that here's this. You know, give me a quote. If the quote is good, they'll give me a load. You know, but I'm gonna make another video on as far as my dump truck, and then also other things, stuff to start off with to help you out. But I just wanted to put this out for people that want to become a freight broker, what to prepare for your first year. All right. Please subscribe, hit the like button, share the video, comment if you got any questions. I'm willing to answer anything, especially for new freight brokers, how to start, you know, what to look out for. I'm out of the state of Texas, so I can tell you a lot about the state of Texas. All right. Other than, be blessed, have a great day, and talk to you later.